folks, my name is Brad, and in the springtime of this year, I was invited to do some metal detecting by two friends, Phil and Tom, at an absolutely incredible place. We found so many old copper coins, and the video from that day actually has over 250,000 views as of right now. Well, today, they've actually invited me to a new field, a possibly even better field. This area of Vermont that I'm standing in right now had a ton of Revolutionary War activity, and between the two of them, they have found dozens and dozens of old musket balls here, Revolutionary War buttons. I'm so excited, I cannot wait. I'm gonna get my metal detector out, see what we can find. 83. Wow, another big old musket ball with the sprue still attached. So I basically just got here, and the only things I have found so far is musket balls and blobs of melted lead. And given what Tom has told me about what has been found here in the past, that makes a lot of sense because they have found dozens and dozens and dozens of the exact same size musket balls. So it seems clear that they were making them here. And this thing that I just found is even more evidence of that. You can see this is another musket ball of the same size, and this one still has the sprue attached. So as they were making these in a mold, there would be a row of cavities in the shape of musket balls. They would pour the lead in from the top, and then this is just the little extra left over from the pouring process. And this didn't happen to get cut off or cleaned off for some reason. You don't find them like this very often. To me, it seems like it's pretty clear evidence they were making them here. Awesome. Let's see what else we can find. This might be a nail. Musket ball. $96. 8 real. 20 escudo.
What is it?
Is that silver?
Flat piece of lead.
It's lead. That was almost a silver cob. 8 real cob. Almost.
Almost.
What were they doing here, huh? You said you found flat lead blobs like this previously.
Similar. We were speculating maybe checkers or game pieces of some sort. Don't know.
It's cool. Given where we are in the context of where, where you found it, it's cool.
Yeah.
82. Another musket ball. 65. What we got? Oh. I got something fun. What is that? Oh man, my heart's beating. My heart's beating.
All right. Ooh, is that coinage?
It is.
Is that Spanish?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I've never seen anything that's not Spanish that's silver in that size.
It might be Spanish, but I don't think it is.
I got water.
All right, so what we have here is a tiny little silver coin. Upon first glance of just the text around the outside, I don't recognize it, but it could be Spanish. The likely thing is that it's Spanish. Oh, I have plenty of water in here, thank you. I asked my buddy Tom for his water bottle here with the Green Mountain metal detecting logo right on it. All right, let's give it a spray. Man, pretty sure that says 1745. What in the world is this? All right, we're gonna have to do some research on this one. Thanks, buddy. So we did a bunch of Googling on our phones. It is a 1745 German Thaler, T-H-A-L-E-R, one Reichsthaler. Man, that's poured upside down. Look at that thing, 1745, wild. A beautiful, beautiful coin. Tom was just saying they had never found any coins here. And how exciting is it that the first one found is this? Not a copper, a tiny little silver coin. From a country I've never found an old coin from, that's for sure. Unbelievable. Well, as amazing as finding Revolutionary War musket balls is, I decided to take a little bit of a break from that, and I moved to the 1850s site that is, it's like I could throw a rock at the other one. They're very, very close to each other. And the thing that I was just digging up ended up being trash, but in the hole, I found this beautiful fragment of a pipe stem. It appears to be clay, but it's black, white and black. I'm not entirely sure of the significance of that, but you can see there was a beautiful pattern on the side. And in the same hole, we have a rim to an old bottle. I believe this is a Hutchinson style bottle, late 1800s. Both in their time trash, but I think they're awesome. Really cool finds. Stick around here, see what we can find here. Hey! You found a thing? What is it?
Got numbers on it, it's round.
Come on. Is it a coin or a button? So in the fall, at this same location, Phil found a 26th regiment, which you decided were Scottish?
I believe so, yes.
On the Brit side of the Revolutionary War. And just now, you've come up with a 60. Do you know the significance of the 60th Regiment?
I do not.
Me neither.
We'll have to Google.
We will have to Google. But that's a regimental button, we're assuming. Holy smokes, good for you. 65. Ooh, I got an old button too. Got a number on it. Looks like there's something on there. Don't know. Looks like there's something on there, but cannot tell. Certainly an old button. This is a beautiful 88. That is a button. Yeah. That is a blowhole button. Wow. The last time I was with these guys, collectively, I think we found over 50 buttons. And aside from the one military button, the eagle button that I found, they were all just plain and flat. And more than likely, end of the 1700s, middle of the 1800s. This button I just found, once again, does not have any imagery on it. And upon first glance, it looks like a mid-1800s two-piece button, but it isn't. This is a much more exciting find. Even though it doesn't have any image on it, it tells a story. Hopefully you can see there is a hole in the back of this. This is what's called a blowhole button. Now, to be quite honest, I don't know the exact process of how they made these, but that hole was important in that process. I've heard some reports saying that these can be as early as the 1600s. I don't think that this place is that old. That could have been a carryover from, you know, Grandpa's old button jar. but that is a very old style button, more than likely 1700s, but I've only ever found one ever, and this one is in way better condition, so this is an exciting find for me. A very old, pretty much perfect condition blowhole button. Awesome. Let's see what else we can find here. What?
Got green and round. Doesn't look like a button.
Well, I just dug a nail. Phil said he has something green and round. Go for it.
There's something on there.
Yeah? I mean, it's got to be
That's a left-facing,
British, right?
I would imagine. Or,
yeah, if it's French and
or
Indian
1
war.
cent.
Oh, it says 1 cent? 1817.
Oh, I'd throw it back, Phil.
Yeah.
Throw it back, yeah.
Too small.
1817. It's way too new.
We'll dig it up when you grow up.
Wait another
When you
100
grow
years.
old.
No, that's a great find.
This is the first coin I found in this area, so
Nice.
not British, but that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's got to be more here,
There has to be.
right?
They're deep. Very iffy sounding.
They're under the musket balls.
Correct.
82. Musket ball. Musket ball. Musket ball. Another one. It's in this dirt clump. Musket ball. So earlier, Phil showed me a button and he said, oh, this kind of looks like a regimental button, but there was no number in the middle of it. And he just said, oh, it's been in my pack and it just cleaned itself. It's hard to see. I can see why we didn't notice it upon first viewing. But yeah, you can see a 2 over here. And you had found a 26 here before.
Correct.
So there's 2 26s and a 60.
The 60.
And we were saying the 26th regiment was Scottish,
I believe.
and they were on the Brit side. So it makes sense we found 2, regiments together that were on the same side. Don't think any battles happened where we're sitting, but you're killing it today.
It's not German silver.
Well, incredible. Good for you. All right, folks, well, it's the end of the day. The guys are behind me setting up all of their treasures on a couple of plugs they dug. What an amazing place. So many musket balls, Revolutionary War buttons. I'm not sure we exactly pinned down what was going on here during that time, but we have a couple pretty good ideas. Let's take a look at everything we found here. Okay, and so here is my little pile of treasures today. The stuff in the back came from a secondary site that's late 1800s. But out front, all of this stuff came from the structure which we're assuming troops, British troops more than likely, spent time at, and they were clearly moving or making musket balls because dozens and dozens and dozens have been found here. I found personally 19 of them today, along with a whole bunch of other scrap lead. I found 6 buttons, all different. This one is a pewter one, which may or may not have an image on there. It's too early to say. I've got to spend some time with that. But I did find a blowhole button. And last but not least, the coin. 1745. Look at that side. That thing is crazy looking. And here we have Phil's treasures. This is an interesting piece of iron. I feel like I recognize it, but I'm not sure what it is. We've got a spoon handle, that big amazing piece of lead, your 4 Real cob made out of lead. This is really interesting, a square piece of lead. It's either a game piece or, a musket projectile for a musket that has a square barrel.
Right.
7 musket balls, your large cent, 1817, and then your 2 regimental buttons. If you aren't interested in history or the hobby of metal detecting in Northeast, you may not know just how significant those buttons are, but those are incredible once-in-a-lifetime finds. The 60th Regiment of Foot, which I believe is a British button, and then we believe, we can only see the 2, but we believe since there was another 26th regiment here, that's more than likely another one which was a Scottish regiment fighting with the British against the Americans. So these might be musket balls that never ended up being fired at Americans.
There you go.
One way to look at it. And here we have Tom's treasures. See in the way back, some melted lead, we've got a buckle, we've got what I believe is a fork for sure, some brass, 19 musket balls also. We're tied. We got to spend the rest of the evening looking for one more to break the tie, I guess. No, that's wild. I can't do the math in my head right now. 19, 19, and 7.
45.
Good for you. 45 musket balls between the 3 of us today. Well, we have 4 buttons, but this button here, it looks like it was being made here because there's still some flashing around the outside of what would have spilled out of the mold, and it seems like there's some writing around the outside, and it's really hard to make out what's in the center, but I actually found one of these also, whatever it is. Oh, and your Indian head scent. Probably unrelated from the Revolutionary War
More
camp.
like the other house.
Right. Awesome stuff. All right, folks, well, thanks again for watching, and thanks again to Tom and Phil for the invitation to another incredible place.
You're most welcome.
All right, folks, well, thanks again for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next week for another adventure out here somewhere in the mountains of Vermont.